So if you're looking to monetize your life overseas, maybe you're overseas right now living, possibly you're about to be overseas living, or you're an expat overseas and you have this lump sum of money that you've been saving. And you've just looked over time and it's just kind of going down and down and down, and you're unsure of where to start, how to make money online, where do you even begin is probably the most common question I have. This video is for you. This video is for you, and this video especially goes out to all of you guys right on the verge of really being tired of where you're living, most likely living in the States somewhere, and you're wanting to go overseas. You already have an idea of where to go, but the thought that keeps coming to your mind is, but then what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And where do I start to begin to do what I'm going to do? This video is for you. I wanted to create something to help you guys out, and it's something that I get asked all the time. And I want to just have a video that I can send people to and just say, watch this video and you'll know everything you need to know to get started. So monetizing your life abroad, it can be as simple as just make money online and that's it. But sometimes people don't break down the steps. So that's what I'm going to do for you here. If you don't know me, I'm Luke Fitzgerald. I've been overseas for the last 16 and a half years. And I was a pro athlete for 12 of those years overseas, from Australia to Germany to Luxembourg to Spain to France. And about 4 years ago, I left basketball to travel and explore, because I love seeing the world. I love seeing cultures. I love being around people who don't think like me, who don't look like me, who don't dress like me. I love that. And one of the things that everyone always comes to me as I meet them on my path is, but how do you make money? Where do you make money to do it? And although money isn't the number one way that I've been able to do so many things, it has opened a lot of doors and gave me the confidence a lot of times to do more. So this is what we're going to talk about here. Just 11 simple points to it. If I have something, I'm not sure, I might do like a little Q&A with this and have it this Friday in a masterclass. You can join it below. Or if you need a call with me after, because I've watched some people, I think Brian Elwood is really great at talking about this, and there wasn't a way that I could call him. I would have paid anything to talk to him, but he's super busy, and that's totally understandable, but I actually have a little bit of time that I can do that. So the first question you have to really ask yourself is what do you want? No matter what program I run, then there's 11 steps to this. The first one is, what do you want? There's so many, like, you go overseas, but what do you want? Do you want to have a business online? Do you want to work for yourself? Like what is it that you want? You have to get clear on this. Now in the program, if there's a program, I give you an assignment to do. I want you to just make a list of everything that you want. What is it that you want? If the world was just how you wanted, what would you want? In the overseas life, would you want passive income coming in? Would you want to be working for the income coming in? Would you want to find a place in that town or city that you work in? Is that what you want? Like what is it that you want? Because from there, a plan can be derived, and what we're going to go through in these next 10 steps are going to be very clear, because they're going to line up with what it is that you want. Because you start working on something, but it's not what you want. Some of you guys want more time, and you're thinking that having more money is going to mean you have more time, but you're building a business or setting up a life that's going to take away your time, and then you're going to have the money and not have the time, and you just end up being really frustrated. So this is the first question, and I'm flying through this. I might create some kind of program or something if enough people comment and ask for it. But the second thing you want to do is you want to decide who you want to help. At the end of the day, if I ask you where does money come from? It's a question for you all. Where does money come from? I know money doesn't come from trees if you're raised how I was. Where does money come from? I'm gonna give you an answer that I heard that has really helped me so much. Money comes from other people. That's it. Money comes from other people. Which means if you really want to have money, you need to find a way to get that money from people. Now, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but if you really want to, and of course, I mean like in an ethical way, is how can you help them? Because people will trade help for their money. They'll give you their money so you can help them, especially people who finally realize that time is the most important thing. When you realize time is the most important thing, you pay to have time. I don't want to spend 6 years doing this. What I'll do is I'll pay you to have you teach me what you've learned in 6 years and teach me that in 3 days. I heard of a guy in I think it was Qatar who did something like that. He literally paid he gave this doctor a week to come to put all this stuff together that she learned, and he paid her $50,000 to fly out there and spend a whole day just teaching him everything she learned in her 20 years in medicine. Like who do you want to help? You have to decide who you want to help. And once you decide who you want to help, now we can start to add value to their life, and then they'll trade you their money to have you help them. Does that make sense? Now, I know, like I said, we could dive into it, but this is just very simple steps. What do you want? Who do you want to help? Like, just deciding that. Maybe you want to help people who was just like you. One of the programs I just took with Eileen Wilder, she just talked about sometimes the offer that you have, the program that you have, the thing that you're able to help people with is the thing that you have helped yourself with. Maybe it's the thing that you struggled with 3 years ago, and now that's the thing that you can help someone with. Not something you struggled with 20 years ago, but maybe what you struggled with 6 months ago and got through, maybe that's what you're here to help. So I want you just to think about this. This can be so powerful. Number 3 is, where do you want to share? Where do you want to share? I guess that should be number 4. I guess number 3 really should be, how can you help them? So once you discover who you want to help, how can you help them? So let's go back to me a few years ago when I at a really crossroads. Usually those crossroads in your life, those are the crossroads that a lot of people who are in the same situation as you are going to go through. Maybe the crossroad that you had, like for me, was how do I one of the big problems that I had was, how do I share myself with the world more? Instead of meeting people everywhere on the street one-on-one and having conversations, how can I share my thoughts and ideas with the world more? And that's where I found out, well, YouTube was how I could do it. And then once I discovered that, I was like, okay, now I'm creating a brand. Now I can get awareness out. I can share my thoughts. I can share this. Now I can help other people do this. I can help you to create content around the things that you love and care about. And you'll show up every day in this energy of love like I do here. Not that I love making YouTube videos, but I love sharing, and I love the impact that it potentially has, even when I'm well and gone from this planet, or whether I'm eating or whether I'm traveling. People are able to watch these videos over and over and over and over again. And eventually, as I create products along lines of this, they can get a product and learn from it because they know this product is going to help me. This product is going to help me. Like this video here is basically, this is a course that I could run. I might do a fuller in-depth one. Maybe I'll link it below if I ever create one. But this right here is something free that I can put out that you can watch, consume, learn from it, and create a life that you have. But when I'm done with this video, I'm not thinking about this video anymore. I'm going to finish this video. I'm going to ride my motorcycle. I'm here at the border of a certain country, let's just say that. And I'm going to be crossing and going to be traveling and doing this. But while you're watching this, while I'm doing that, you can be watching this. So the next thing you want to ask is, where do you want to share? Where do you want to share? So with that, let's go back to the third one real quick. How can you help them? What I want you to do is I want you to just come up with a list of 5 different ways that you could help someone. Who? That was in number 2. Who are you going to help? What are 5 ways that you could help the people that you wanted, that you think you could help? So one of the things I'd have you do, write down 3 kinds of people that you could help. I can help lawyers lose 20 pounds. Like, something like this. Something with a result. You want to have some kind of result that you can get to them. Now, I'm learning this myself now. You got to speak in results. People don't hire me because I'm a life coach. People help me because, hey, I can get you overseas in 90 days. I can get you a result. It needs to be a tangible result. If it's not a tangible result, then people can't see it. And they can't see it. When was the last time, put it like this, when was the last time you went and you bought something with your credit card that you didn't know what you were buying? You most likely always knew. And we always need to know a result before we actually buy it, or we get people to buy from us, okay? So the next thing is, you got to think of, where do you want to share? Meaning, where do you want to share? And this kind of goes with the next one of, what do you want, like what platform you want to use, but where do you want to share? What social media platform do you want to use to share on? Do you want to use social media platform? Do you want to use a blog? So I know it's a lot. So let's just think about this. Do you want to write? You want to speak? Or do you want to have video? You need to decide one of those. I recommend 2 and all 3 if possible, but I definitely recommend 2. Choose the 2. Choose one that scares you and the other one that feels fun. That's what I would give you as my recommendation. And what you want to do is you then want to start talking about how it is that you can help people, or who it is that you're talking to. Now we can start creating. You guys following me? So it's like a little bit of a process. And the next thing is, like, what would you share? What would you share? If you were trying to help lawyers lose 20 pounds, what would you like to share? Would you like to share, maybe they need to learn about the pain that is costing them already, or you need to share with them about how if they don't change, they're going to have less energy. If they have less energy, then they're not going to be able to serve as many people with much energy. Or maybe you want to share with them how you were once a lawyer, or whatever it is. Who you chose to help is usually someone who was like you, and show them how maybe all these hours is making you money, but do you have time? You're now out of shape. You don't get to spend a lot of time with your family. How would it feel to spend time with your family? Here's some things that you can do. Can you see now how you have their attention because you're adding a value that they could use? So I know I'm talking fast because I want to get this out of my brain before it goes away. But these are things that are extremely important that people need, and they're waiting for. They're waiting for this. And when you know who to help and you know you can share it online, now you begin to share those things. Share those things that you're going through right now. Build it based around you. And it's just so powerful. I've just seen it. I get emotional talking about it because I can see how it just, like for me, it has the ability to change so many people's lives, so many different ways, all the time, even when you're not working, even when you're not doing anything, you can change people's lives. So that'll be the next thing. The next thing is, how do you keep up with the ideas? So all these, like I say, every single one of these points I'm telling you, I could do a whole program or a whole talk about it because it's about 15 minutes of examples and all that. But I want to give you these little steps that you could do. Is how do you keep up with ideas? Well, we always have ideas. You ever not be able to sleep so well because you just have so many thoughts and ideas going in your mind? We all have ideas. So what I want you to do is start writing down in your notes, literally just a notes app on your phone, write down the ways that you think that you could help them. They don't come to you when you sit down to work most of the time. They come to you when you're walking, when you're eating, and write these ideas down. And think of the conversations that you have with people, and everyone you come up with that has to have a conversation, there's something that they're not saying. You need to become so powerful at seeing what's not being said. What's not being said here is sometimes the actual problem that they're actually having. That's funny. So I had a conversation with some ladies probably a year ago, and I still remember it. They were just talking about how great their business was, and I was trying to figure out ways I can help them. So I read between the lines and said, well, what's missing in your business? How much time do you have free? And they're like, oh, we actually don't have any time. So now, so they're a business owner who wants to have more time free. So here, based on your model, have double the time free that you have now. We'll double the time that you have free. How much free time do you have now? We'll double that if you're a business owner. Now that's a result that they can imagine. That's something that you can help them with. All right, are you following me? It's a lot. So the next thing is, how do you keep up with ideas? Is you're going to have these ideas. And one of the things that people don't get about ideas are just like, I can't come up with an idea, Luke. I can't do it. And I'm just like, okay, all right. First of all, relax. Second of all, what no one tells you about coming up with ideas, just like something no one tells you about exercise, is the more you take action in it, the more you want to take action. And I can prove it to you right now. If we were all in a seminar, we were all in a little retreat that I was having, I'd have everyone get on the floor and I say, who here wants to do a push-up right now? Maybe one or two people will raise their hand. Now I say, I want everyone to get on the floor and do one push-up. People would do a push-up. And then I say, if you feel like doing another one, do it now. And somebody would do another one. And if you feel like, and before you know it, you have people who've done 20 push-ups, 7 push-ups, all from not even wanting to do it, but because you took one little action, now all of a sudden it breeds more action. It's hard to get, as my brother-in-law says, it's hard to get inertia. Like he always talks about inertia. Once you have the inertia, it means you have the momentum in your favor. It's hard to get inertia. There's no momentum from sitting on a couch. There's no momentum. There's no energy there. You need some kind of momentum to get you going. And once you get going, it's easier to keep going. Once you get going, it's easier to go a little faster. From zero with no energy, it's like Newton's, I think it's Newton's first law. Motion stays the same. Motion stays the same. And then the third one is, I think it talks about friction. Like if you push on something, it pushes back on you. But if you're not making any motion or moving at all, then you're not making anything to build on. It's hard to build and get you going when you're at 0. Get to 5, now we can get you to 6. We can get you to 7, okay? The next thing I want you to think about for monetizing your life online is what products should you create? Basically, what products can you create? This is something that I come up with the ideas and I don't actually follow through on a lot of these because I had a lot of thoughts around selling to people because early in my YouTube career, this is a story I'm telling myself, but I made everyone budget travel. I talked about budget traveling. So people are trying to sleep in a room for $5. So it's hard to sell people who want to stay in a room for $5. It was challenging for me to sell them something that was $100, $1,000, $10,000. So I had to realize I had to go back to number 2, and I think, well, who can I help? Like, I don't want to help budget travelers to do it. Like, I don't want to work, like, when people don't pay, they don't pay so much attention. I heard Myron Golden say this. He's like, and if they pay a little bit, they pay a little attention. If they pay a lot, they pay a lot of attention. The people who have paid me the most usually have taken the biggest action while we're working together, after we've worked together, and it's just something that I realized, and it's just something I had to get over. So what products you should create, what are people asking you in the content that you're posting already? So in the things that you're starting to share, what kind of feedback are you getting? And this is something that people don't get. And I remember one client in particular, he didn't understand this until I told him. I was like, well, because you haven't posted anything in the 3 weeks we've worked together so far, you have no feedback to give. I have no feedback to give you on the feedback that you're getting because you're not getting any feedback. The thing about posting is you get feedback. People look at it as failure, but you get feedback. No one watched it. That's feedback. No one left comments. That's feedback. You need the feedback, and based on the feedback, you can carve and craft things based on what people say that they want and need, or just based on the questions. And if this is who you are and what you love to talk about, more than likely, you're talking about this to people that you're meeting on a daily basis. You're talking about this to people on the phone and asking them and being curious of the questions that they have. And when you're curious on the questions that they have, now those can all be questions that you can put into some kind of program, to put into something that they can take and learn and be benefited. And you want to shrink it down. So for example, this is 11 bullet points I'm putting here. But if I end up creating a course, which I probably will now that I'm talking about it, because a lot of these things need to be elaborated on, I would put it into just 3 steps. I put all of this into 3 steps. Like the who, the what, and the how, maybe. Something like this. Who, what, how. That would be the 3 steps. And in one of those, the who would be like, who are you and who do you want to help? It would be broken down into 3 steps. And it's a system that I sell. This is a system to monetize your life. These are the steps. But what I can create is a system. And actually, maybe I'll do it. If I do, it'll be linked in the description below. Probably at a later date, a year or so from now. I don't know when. But you can join the masterclass, and I can answer your questions there, or schedule a one-on-one call. But these are steps. And when you create steps to someone, you're not selling yourself, you're selling a system. I have a system that will help you to monetize your life, at least to get you seen by people, because there's so many ways you can get monetized. So everyone thinks that there's ways to monetize is to just, the ways to monetize is just through social media, okay? So on my YouTube channel, I think last month I made around like $60, okay? Not highly monetized. But on the flip side of it, with the attention that I got, so YouTube paid me $50 a month. But on the flip side of that, with certain services that I offered, it was a lot more than that I got, based on the services that I could offer through the people who saw me online, okay? So through what they saw, allowed me to offer services and products, and most likely service, because I love most of them were service-based things that I did, although product is more scalable and doesn't take away your time, but I will give my time if it's something that I love doing and I'm gonna do anyways. But those brought in like a good amount, like 5 figures, doing some things like this. And multiple months has happened like that. And at the same time though, there's been months where there hasn't been. So it's like both sides, okay? But that's one way to do it. Another way that I did it is I'm actually currently, at the time I was in Mexico. And in Mexico, I saw this lady that I went to her restaurant every day to eat breakfast. And she was playing around with the camera. I love cameras. I love photography. I started in photography. I'm a photographer at first, and then I started doing videos. And one of the things was she was trying to I was like, what are you doing with the camera? She's like, yeah, I'm trying to get it. I don't know which one to get. And I was like, well, you need a new lens for this. And I started explaining all this stuff to her. She's like, how do you know so much about cameras? I'm like, well, I'm a photographer. I love taking pictures of things. I love street photography, but I can do any kind of photography. And I more like candid photography. That's my favorite. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, I want to photograph all the food we make. And I said, well, I can do that for you. I have the camera, I have the lens, I have all that with me. So the average pay, I think, for a lot of places in Mexico is around $10 a day. A lot of people are making $10 a day. I know some people who make 15, You know, some people make 40, but the average that I know, especially in small cities, like especially small villages, is like $8 to $10 a day. I worked for this lady for basically, it was about an hour of work. It was an hour of work, but it took probably like 2 or 3 hours. And I charged her $150. She paid $150 in a place where the average person is making $10 per day. She paid $150 for 1 hour. Now, here's the thing. She didn't pay me in cash. You hear me? She didn't pay me in cash. She paid me an opportunity. That's what I wanted to get paid in, because I knew they weren't going to pay me 30 bucks even. But I do know this is a restaurant that I come to every day, and I do know that on a daily basis when I'm coming here, I'm spending around $20 to $25. You know, if I'm eating my 2 smoothies and breakfast and then coming back again for lunch. So I said, I just want a free, give me my normal meal for breakfast. I want 2 smoothies, a sandwich, and a snack. And I want that every day for 2 weeks, and I'll do these photos. So that's what they did. Got to remember, it's not all about the contract. It's all about the terms of the contract. Maybe you only pay me $1 to come to your city and talk to a group of people, but you give me a free hotel. You give me a all-I-can-eat pass. You fly me private. You do all, so it's all about the terms. The terms matter. The terms really matter. And because I had those terms, it changed the way I did things. So I monetized. But you could do that with a lot of things. I've done that with Airbnbs. Stay in an Airbnb, like this is a beautiful Airbnb, like, but your photos didn't show how beautiful this was. I can shoot some photos for you. You just need to pay, I don't know, I would charge them somewhere along the lines of, I don't know, 2 nights for free. How much was that night? It was paying $160 a night. So now I just made $320. Not paid in cash, but it was paid to me through the opportunity. So a lot of times when you're getting monetized, and actually I hope you guys don't mind, I got to turn to make sure my camera's still recording. I literally have it on my helmet. Hope you guys are getting some value from this. If you're getting some value, just leave me a comment. Let me know what your biggest takeaway is up until this point. So that's one way to monetize. There's other ways. There's so many opportunities that I've had based on what I love. So one of the things that could have been a thing to do is think about the things that you love. What do you love to do? Find the things you love to do. Because you don't need vacations, you don't need breaks from it. You really don't. It's great to have it, but you don't need it necessarily sometimes. You don't want it. You might need it, but you don't want it. So this is one way you can do it. There's other ways that I've monetized things from just a lot of opportunities. You know, a lot of opportunities, discounts that they've given me if I do this. You know, I've gotten to eat a lot of restaurants. If they're like, can you just put this in the vlog? Can you put this in the TikTok? I've gotten, probably up until this point on my TikTok, because I think I want to say I probably got over 100 invites to different things, whether it's restaurants, whether it's little stands of tacos, whether it's to villages, whether it's to parties of villages, just from sharing content. Content is number one. This is the one thing you have to start to do, content. And then number one, the next thing, number 10 is, or no, this is the last thing. Oh, this is the last thing. We've come to the end of this. We're flying through this. The last thing is how to create consistent income. Now, this is not something that I've mastered. Well, I've done pretty well creating consistent income, but not consistent high income for me. And I found that is just always to be flexible. I think one of the ways that I'm struggling, I haven't mastered this step yet myself, but I think you have to be flexible. If you're used to doing it one way and then you're just not going to change and you don't want to do a little bit more research, like you're going to always kind of stay here. There's something, I'm reading Big Leap, I think the name of the book is, and it's really helping me to understand that for me. So I haven't mastered that. But one of the things, I've realized how to create consistency. The income part, not so much there, because to consistently, what I'm learning is to create, for example, consistent $20,000, $50,000 months. It takes a system and oftentimes a team. And once you can able to do that, now you become scalable and sustainable. So this is just to get you monetized very simply. Because once you start to understand the concepts, you can start to change it. You can start to mold it. You can start to create it, make it your own. But these are ways that have helped me. This is how I've been able to do it and how I've been able to sustain it and truly sustain it, because what people don't know is they think I just saved all my money from playing basketball and then that's how I traveled, when that wasn't the case, where it was the money that I made after basketball that allowed me to have the life that I have after basketball. And I'm so grateful for that, because it's been a figuring it out process for me. But just as I'm telling you here, you're able to help people who are just a few steps behind you. And I think that that's one of the things that we can do that really costs us just a little bit of time, but has a huge upside of helping change someone else's life, give us opportunity, and at the same time allows us to create some kind of monetary income at some point in time. So add value to other people and you will be fine. You'll be taken care of. I've had people on this channel who have taken care of me, who have helped me monetarily when all I'm doing is just being me. I've had people pay my hotels, pay Airbnbs, pay flights, do everything they could to help me out, just to help me keep sharing this message. And once you have that tribe of people, you never go back to seeing things the same. You realize how powerful people are. So that being said, I hope this helped you out. If you need a call with me, you can book it below. I want to keep those open for people. And if not, I'll see you guys in the next video, or maybe in the masterclass, or if I've created a product around what I just talked about, breaking it down, then I will have it here linked in the description below as well. And with that being said, time for me to get some food. Whew. See you guys in the next video, and thank to my helmet for holding it up for the whole time. That was literally my tripod. See you guys later.